Hello everybody, as you might have noticed, this video was published on July 4th. So to celebrate America's independence, let's put the strongest predator in all of America, the grizzly bear, in the most dangerous ecosystem in the USA, the Everglades.
It's just not called Jurassic Park, it's called Florida.
For this video, I'll use the Vividence, Thrive or Eat Alive system.
3 H's. The environment of their new home, dealing with hunger, and defending themselves against the hanger of native predators and competitors. Each category will be ranked on a scale of 1 to 10, which will contribute to their final Thrive or Eat Alive score. A 1 means they'd swiftly go extinct, completely outmatched by the native fauna. A 5 means they'd maintain a stable population without making big waves ecologically. And a 10 means they'd completely destroy their competitors, carving out a niche as the new apex organism.
Please note that I am not a grizzly bear expert, but I have been to the Everglades like 7 times, so I'll have a decent idea of what I'm talking about, and I did research a lot about grizzly bears for this video. Home. Despite how grizzly bears are portrayed as living in frigid environments and hibernating all the time, grizzly bears can actually do very well when it's year-round heat. And before humans kicked them out, they used to live as far south as North Mexico, where it can get pretty hot, even hotter than Florida. Not to mention the grizzly bear's most preferred area are riparian areas that have shallow water and have a lot of banks nearby so they can easily hunt for fish and also travel across the water, which is just what the Everglades are. So all in all, grizzly bears won't need to hibernate, but that's a bad thing, especially for the mothers. And that's because grizzly bear mothers give birth to their children during hibernation. So if they're not going to be hibernating, that means that they're going to work extra hard to take care of their young, which could lead to consequences. But all in all, grizzly bear mothers are known for their ferociousness. So all in all, I'm going to give the bears a 7 out of 10 for the home category, because they know how to take care of their young, and they also love wet areas. Hunger. Grizzly bears will eat pretty much anything, but they're going to be looking for food they normally eat, which includes a lot of berries, but a little meat wouldn't hurt. As for the berries, Florida has berries, and I mean a lot of berries. And for the meat, the animals in the Everglades are very similar to what grizzly bears eat on a regular basis. From personal experience, I know that there are birds that would be completely unaware if a grizzly bear ambushed them. As for the fish, there are fishes in the Everglades that can grow even bigger than salmon, and they should be way easier to catch since the Everglades are 2 feet deep on average. So I'm going to give 10 out of 10 for the hunger category because the Everglades is even more plentiful in the foods grizzly bears eat. Hanger. Finally, the fun part. But before we get into the apex predators of the Everglades, first some honorable mentions. The black bear. Sure, they're just a weaker version of the grizzly bear, but the Everglades have black bears. And panthers, I guess, but nobody cares about you, Garfield. And now finally the main event. The ruling reptile of Florida versus the grizzly bear. This is a pretty controversial fight, so instead of saying this one outright wins, I'm going to be breaking down their stats to see who most likely win in a fight. Because sure, alligators might not be aggressors towards animals they don't know, but grizzly bears are, so I think it's important to see who would win in a fight to the death. The first category is strength, which is pretty equal in terms of weight, since male alligators and grizzly bears can both reach around 700 pounds, while female alligators and grizzly bears can both reach around 400 pounds on average. So it's pretty fair in terms of weight, but not necessarily in the other abilities they have. Like grizzly bears can casually push over 700-pound garbage bins, and a max pushing strength calculated by Creature Challenge of being 1,900 pounds. Gators aren't really known for pushing things, but they have another trick up their sleeve.
Working with alligators and crocodiles for nearly 30 years, one of the most common questions I get asked is, how strong are alligators' jaws? Alligators, and most particularly crocodiles, have the strongest bite force of any animal on the planet. Alligators have between 2,000 to 3,000 pounds per square inch closing power in their jaws.
So strength is a tie in my opinion, because sure, alligators might be overall stronger. Both their strengths, pushing and crushing, can be used in different parts of the battle, and both are really important. In terms of speed, it's a tie. Alligators in water, grizzly bears on land. Durability is an easy one. Alligator. Not only can alligators easily take on crocodile bites, alligators on their weak spots in the back of their head can also sometimes survive 44 Magnum guns, while bears, especially Kodiak bears, which are bigger than grizzly bears, will easily die at 44 Magnum. So, alligator wins. In IQ? Yeah, it's not even close. Bear. In terms of abilities, grizzly bears are able to stand on their hind legs and make themselves look bigger, and also lets them use their claws. While alligators might not have the best physicality since they only have their jaws and their tail, they're able to spin around while biting their victims to do a death roll, which rips off their limbs. And now for the main event, the fight. Both combatants will be adult males in their prime, and the fight will take place by a riverbank. So let's get ready for a death battle! My take on the fight is that alligators are stronger, more durable, and they also have home court advantage. But a black bear can beat two alligators in a fight. No, they can't. This dumb statement comes from a video in which a black bear was able to get away from two alligators, but I have multiple reasons why this video in particular is a stupid showcase of a black bear beating two alligators. First off, they didn't even fight. The alligator was chasing the black bear, and then the black bear just smacked it, then the alligator stopped chasing after it. And there was a second alligator that was totally uninvolved, that the black bear just smacked for no reason, and the second alligator didn't even do anything about it. So it's not even a 2v1. Also, the alligators were completely uninjured. And you're essentially saying a black bear could be two alligators in deep water. But really think about that. Alligator just bit onto that bear and just held him at the bottom of the river. Do you really think the bear would win in that life or death situation? Also, the cherry on top. The fact was, the two alligators were both juveniles because they were able to tell from the tip of their snout how old they are. So, they were much smaller according to their snouts, so they're not even adults. They're most likely around their juvenile kid before teenage years or something. And now for the new addition to the Everglades, the Burmese python. Burmese pythons are huge, reaching almost 30 feet in length, and they're known for killing gators, so they're pretty powerful. I don't think they'll be able to kill an adult grizzly bear, but probably subadult males and females, especially if the area is dense enough so the grizzly bear doesn't have much options and the Burmese python can easily strangle it to death. And this is assuming the fight is on land. In the water, Burmese python would definitely win. And they are way more aggressive than the gators, meaning that these fights will happen a lot more often, and these pythons can pack a punch. And the true apex of the Everglades, the American crocodile. Yeah, I don't think the bears stand much of a chance here. So overall, I'm giving the grizzly bears a 6 out of 10. They're pretty much outclassed by every apex, but they are strong enough to maybe shoo some of them away, and they're also fast enough to get away from them if they don't want to be in a death battle. And they are stronger than any non-apex. After tallying all the points, the bears get a 7.6 on the Thrive or Eat Alive system. They'll maintain a huge population, but by no means will they be an apex predator. But maybe the real grizzly bears are the freedoms we made along the way.